Hi, I'm Nicholette. I have just decided to start a YouTube channel dedicated to sharing my wisdom with everyone else, hoping that I can help other people. There's a reason I'm in my pajamas. I actually was listening to a YouTube video by Phil Good today, and he was talking about authenticity and what it means, and the way he described it to his viewers was that they should be who they are when they're in their pajamas. So because one of my goals is to be authentic with my viewers, if I get any, I decided it would be a great way and a fun way to start and show you the real me when I'm in my pajamas with my hair all over the place and my fleecy gown. I live in Cape Town, South Africa. It is winter at the moment, hence the fleece vest. I am 39 years old, turning 40 next year. I'm quite excited. I'm single. I hesitated there because I was trying to find a less negative word to use than single, but I'm quite happy to be on my own. I don't feel the need to attach myself to someone unnecessarily, but obviously am open to it if someone spectacular comes along. But I've been wondering where to start off my first episode, so to speak. And really, I suppose I could start with where I'm at right now in my life and why I chose to start this channel. I have been working. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of background history about me. I qualified as a journalist and worked around the world in that capacity, like as a features writer and travel writer for over 10 years. But I got to the point where I wanted to do work that was more rewarding and purposeful, and I wanted to help people. So I left the media industry and excuse me. I was going to study and do some energy healing therapies. I received quite a lot of help from energy healers from the time I was like 23. They made a really deep and profound impact in my life, and so I thought, well, maybe I could help people in that way. I signed up to do a kinesiology course and some Bach flower remedy course, but I needed to work while I was studying, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I just left the media industry, and all I knew was that I wanted to work and use my purpose for what I was put on this planet for. And I was wondering, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And I'd have conversations with people about, well, like, how do we know what our purpose is? And people would say, well, I've heard it's what you really love doing. And I would say, well, I love sex. They'd be like, yes, everybody loves sex. Like, no, but I really, really love sex. And so, like, one day, just as sort of like a wishful thinking, I was like, oh, well, maybe I should work at a sex shop. But I didn't take the thought seriously or anything like that. Just kind of like left it and forgot about it. But quite synchronistically, not long after that, I was at an energy healer who helped me sort something out. I think I was getting a cord cutting done from a lover I had parted ways with, and I was having attachment issues. So yes, I'd like it was summer, and I was wearing like strappy sandals and a little summer dress, and like I had no like makeup on, and my hair was probably like it is now, quite a mess. And I had been crying because it was an emotional release that came out during the session. And after telling her about the courses that I wanted to do, she said, yes, that sounds great, but you're going to need to work while you're busy studying. And because you're so comfortable with sexuality, there's this place around the corner, they're looking for people to work. Go there and tell them I sent you and that you're perfect for the job. So, okay, I thought, let me head off there. When I went to the place, it was called Bedroom. I don't think it's around anymore. I rang the doorbell, my cry face on, summer dress on, wasn't prepared at all. The owner answered the door. Said, hi, so-and-so sent me. She said, I'm perfect for this job I know nothing about. She's like, oh, okay, do you know what we do here? I was like, well, she gave me a rough picture, or a slight idea. So the owner took me through the boutique. It was beautiful, really warm furnishings, really tasteful environment. The products were all like beautiful, like medical grade silicone, all imported, and manufacturer's warranties and all sorts of amazing stuff. And it was then, like through the impromptu interview that we had, that I realized that everything I'd ever been through regarding how I discovered my sexuality, and because I have a sexuality and I embraced it, there was a certain amount of persecution I had to face from my peers and society in general. Like, women aren't supposed to be sexual creatures, but there I was in everyone's faces, breaking all the rules and being frowned upon. And I realized that I didn't actually realize that sexuality could be a path in like helping people. And so out of nowhere, I found myself in the managerial position at this boutique, where I helped them run the boutique. And it was on the surface, like, you could say, oh, like, a sex shop is really shallow work, but it was fulfilling in the most profound way. It takes so many people, so much courage to step foot through the front door of a place like that, and for them to actually get into their car and drive to a place like that. They're already desperate for help, and they haven't been able to find it anywhere else. And then for them to open their mouths and verbalize out loud to a complete stranger what their desires are, when they don't even express it to their partner sometimes, it's such a great honor, and I felt so special to be put in this role by life, and that life trusted me with this job, with this work. And so it definitely did have purpose for me. And sure, there were those people who like snubbed me and like gossiped and, oh, do you know where she's working, that kind of thing. But it was the happiest work I've ever had. It was, I remember one night I had a dream, and like, people normally experience it in completely the opposite way, where the dream was that, like, they suddenly appear at work and like they're naked, like at work, like they freak out. The dream was actually opposite for me, where I was like naked at work and I was just like walking around and like doing my job, that kind of thing. And only later on, when I had to like go out in the evening with friends, did I freak out that I had no clothes on and that like I had to get dressed. So it actually like spoke quite clearly about how much of myself I could be in my workplace and be accepted, and that I only felt threatened with who I really was when I was going out into society, having to deal with judgment and people with narrow mindsets. That kind of thing. So anyway, progressing with my story. Yes, and then from there, okay, so it was a lot of counsel work, which I loved as well. I worked with women who had miscarriages and who were too afraid to have sex again in case they fell pregnant and lost the baby again. But it was their wedding anniversary, and so they didn't want to disappoint their husbands. I worked with an old lady who met someone online, and she finally plucked up the courage to go and meet this man, and he ended up raping her. I've had customers open up to me about getting STDs and the process of how they discovered it, and the shame that they felt, and like how they had like the process of like getting rid of it, like having to go into surgery and like going to a hospital. But I've also had like customers, like really fun, wild customers, but it's a job that requires, not anyone can just do that kind of work. I'm not blowing my own horn, but like it takes someone who's very strong to do that work, because a lot of people will just they when, like with sexuality, a lot of people don't have the consciousness or awareness to realize that people can be sexual but also have value. And so when I'm quite careful about who I tell, like about the work I've done, because it got to the point where I just wasn't willing to put up with the unpleasant reactions of their immature responses. So I actually developed social anxiety about it for a while, but I'm over that now. But I'll gauge like exactly like who I'm sort of dealing with before I reveal the truth. Like normally I'll just say, no, like I work in retail, and then people will go, oh, what shop? Oh, body accessories, clothes, body products, that kind of thing. But yeah, so most people, not all people, there are people who have great maturity and they really understand that the work is quite sacred and quite profound. But there are people who don't realize that people can be sexual and have value as human beings as well, and so they'll forget that I have like intelligence and heart, and they'll just like place this shallow overlay of objectification, for lack of a better word, that's the only thing I have to offer, and so I've had to face that. Like I was saying, it takes a really strong person. Sorry, like I go off track quite a bit, and then I'll remember what I was talking about and come back. So you have to know yourself, and you have to be strong inside yourself, and you have to know why you're doing it, why you're doing the work. And also, it's quite difficult to find like a partner when you're a single girl who works in a sex shop. You think that they'd be lining up for it, but they're not. Like so I'm heterosexual. Most men are so intimidated by a woman who knows more about sex than they do that they just run a mile. Like I've seen so many deer in headlights looks. But anyway, so yes, you have to be strong, you have to be confident in yourself, you have to know why you're there, you have to be able to hold space, be non-judgmental. I have had men come in who have bought two of everything, one for his wife and one for his mistress, so that the mistress didn't get jealous. I'm one of the most non-judgmental people I know. So I feel like I have a lot of value to offer. So yeah, my current position is that I have been running a shop here in Cape Town, Intimacy Boutique. Again, the work has been so rewarding and so fulfilling, but the work hours are crazy. It's 6 days a week from 10 to 7 each day, and although I love the work, like physically my body is just not coping. When I was 23, I had cancer in my thyroid, got a scar over there, and my thyroid was removed. And while I don't like to play victim to that, like my energy levels are great, it's just like I'm a human being, and human beings need more than 1 day rest a week in order to be happy. Like I've been going from leaving work at 7 o'clock, and then like to avoid sorry, my battery says it's going flat. Shit. To avoid like work home depression slump, like I've been going to gym to get some exercise, but then I only get home at 9 p.m. and then I have to cook which takes time, and I have to eat, which takes time, and I have to shower and blow dry my hair, and then like the day's over and I've got to get into bed and then get up at 7:30 the next day and like repeat and repeat and repeat like for 6 days a week. And then on my only day off it's like laundry and grocery shopping and trying to get some rest and also trying to see some friends. Like I've really started taking strain. So yes, that's my current situation. Yesterday I resigned from my job. I don't have a plan, but I do know that I need to be working with purpose, and so that was the inspiration behind me starting this YouTube channel. I have to cut this video short now because I think my battery's gonna die pretty soon, but yeah, so I'll probably start with the outcome of what's happening at work. I'll tell you the story of how and why I resigned, because it actually comes into something that I'm quite useful with, which is retrieving our personal power when people try to disempower us and maintaining it. So join me for the next episode on that. I hope you enjoyed my talk, and I hope to see you again.